good to go. So, testing, 1, 2, 3, standard voice, chance voice, big chance voice.
Test, 1, 2, second mic, normal levels, going up, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Welcome one and all to Olympic Village for more of the greatest league on the planet, the NPL Men's Victoria Round 20. Heidelberg United, your league leaders, playing host to Dandenong City in a game that could have serious ramifications for both the race for the Premier's plate as well as top six positioning. However, before we can run down the teams for you today, we will take a moment to pause in memory of Con Theodoropoulos, the beloved father of Dandenong City assistant coach Bill Theodoropoulos, who passed away earlier today. And, of course, the heartfelt condolences in everybody in the Victorian football family goes out to the Theodoropoulos family. But there is a matter of a football game to be played on this Friday night between two sides that always put on a good show, even if this is a rivalry that has been dominated by Heidelberg United over the years. They haven't always been regular opponents. Dandenong City bouncing up and down between the top and second flights here in the Victorian competition. But when they have played, well, they've played 10 times. Heidelberg have won 9 of them. The only time Dandenong City triumphed coming back in 2021 in round 8 when they won an absolute shootout, a 4-3 contest down at Frank Holohan Soccer Complex. But that means that Nick Tolios' side have never taken points off Heidelberg here at Olympic Village. But with their attempts to chase down Preston and secure a spot in the top 6 very much ongoing, we will see if that can change tonight. The starting lineups for both sides, well, Heidelberg, they have been a bastion of stability throughout the campaign, and for the most part, that will continue tonight. Just the one change from coach John Anastasiadis' side. Max Bassetto will sit out this one with a yellow card suspension, meaning Jay McGowan comes into the starting lineup. Otherwise, it's as you were. Yaron Souza in goal, Ben Collins, Jamal Ali, Anthony Lesiotis, Fletcher Fulton, Mo Adara, Bull Juarch, the leading goal scorer in the league, Sahi Yokawa, Sabat Ngor, Ryan Lethlean, and the aforementioned Jay McGowan. One change also for the visiting Dandenong City. Thomas Giannakopoulos comes into the side for George Lambateridis. Pierce Clark is in goal. Brad Plant, Kenny Athieu makes his return to the Olympic Village. Valley Chesnick, Danny Kim, Diego Cuba, Tim Atharinos, Will Bauer, Nathan Hancock, and Jackson Leno. So kick-off imminent here at the Village. Yanni Miletus, the man in the middle, our referee tonight, getting set to signal the kick-off here at Catalina Street. And as kick-off gets underway, it is my absolute pleasure to be joined on the call this evening by Lachlan Avil. Lockie, interesting game today, big game today. What are you expecting?
Yeah, fascinating, Joey. Good evening to you and good evening to everybody at home. Lots on the line for both of these sides early on here. Obviously, we got Dandenong City only 2 points outside of the finals positions, and Heidelberg, of course, pushing not just for the NPL Premiership, but of course an 8-point gap back to Dandenong Thunder, who were their closest competition for that Australian Championship spot later in the season. And with those two teams, Thunder and Avondale, playing later this round, they have a chance to put some gap on at least one of those races tonight.
Well, an error from Heidelberg is going to give Dandenong City another opportunity to come forward. Dandenong City wearing red and blue vertical stripes, white shorts, kicking from the right to left of your screen in this opening stanza. Heidelberg United in their yellow and black, kicking from left to right. A chance for them to come forward for the first time this evening. Dandenong City back quickly, assuming their defensive shape and forcing the turnover. Kenny Athew, well, trying to hold the play off. It's play up, won't be successful, and he's going to give away the free kick. Ben Collins, the Burger skipper, will have his hands full tonight with Kenny Athew, who's got 7 goals thus far on the campaign. But if there's any centre-back up to the task throughout this campaign, Ben Collins has shown that he's probably it. Doesn't hurt to have Yaron Souza behind you either if things go particularly bad. 7 clean sheets on the campaign thus far for Yaron Souza. 19 in his Heidelberg career, the second most in the club's NPL Men's Victoria history, behind only Chris Theodoridis. So, safe pair of hands indeed for the Burgers, as Ali tried to just shepherd that through. They haven't done the most convincing defending of it. Plant sends it central. Attack will break down at the top of the box, but the Burgers not being too clean with it. Dara slips. And that'll give the visitors another throw in. Cuba took the throw quickly. Plant couldn't find a way through.
And you mentioned on the off, Joey, this Heidelberg team has been very stable over recent months, so much so that you have to go back to the start of April. And that run of almost 3 months now, only once has this Heidelberg team been changed. And that game was here at Olympic Village. It was the 2-2 draw between them and St Albans. And the one regular who wasn't in that side, Max Pacetto.
So potentially an inauspicious sign for the Burgers. Well, the Bronx cheer goes up from the grandstands here at Olympic Village. Sabat and Gore making a nuisance of himself with the forward press. Piers Clark deciding that discretion is the better part of valour. Heidelberg United enter today unbeaten in 18 across all competitions. 17 of those games wins. But dropped 2 points to St Albans, the lone blemish, as they come forward quickly, but it's a sharp sliding challenge. And that will afford Heidelberg United the first corner of this game.
Good early start from both sides. Obviously, Dandenong City looking to make their mark early, putting the Heidelberg defence under pressure. But as we've seen from this entire season so far, Joey, Heidelberg, well, good at setting into the match.
Yokokawa, high ball in towards the back post. Can't be wrangled, and that'll be a goal kick for Dandy City.
Interesting to watch Piers Clark here tonight, the goalkeeper in charge of the Dandenong City net. Had a very eventful week last time out. Saved a penalty to give his side the 3 points. Playing a little games, you'll see the trademark drop kick from him as well.
So the signal is sent. This one will be going long. Clark puts an almighty boot through it, looking for Kenny Athew. He got a glancing header on it, and it's going to prove a good one. Dandy City coming through, but the effort was always slicing wide the moment it came off Will Bauer's boot. But potential warning sides, Route 1 football almost proves dividends for Dandy City.
And it's fascinating. Generally, when we've seen Heidelberg this season, we'll see it as they choose to build up the play. They'll get their fullbacks really high up the field. They'll split the centre-backs, and that'll be their moment to try and work through the ground. But as you can see from Dandenong City early, choosing to press that moment, because if you can force a turnover in that front third of the field against Heidelberg, those are the opportunities.
Sabat and Gore cutting inside, but it's another good challenge. That's going to see the turnover, but there's a massive bodies there, which sees Jamal Ali win it straight back for the Burgers, but then he can't retain possession. Kim forced to turn around and just send it back to his centre backs, but Hancock can calm things down, send it across to the right. The rapid series of games in succession and some injuries piling up for Dandenong City. Hancock getting an extended run in the side. Started every game since round 17, having previously not started since round 3, so getting an extended run of football is the former Port Melbourne man. Pretty familiar kit for him as an ex-Port Melbourne man.
And we talk about the stability of that Heidelberg side. These last few weeks for Dandenong City have unfortunately been the opposite. Had the cup football in midweek, some forced rotation, some suspensions and injury, all been building up. Thankfully, just the one change, hopefully they can build a little bit of stability in this side.
Gore working against Lino. Lino had support, but that's a handy spin move, and then a second. And then the ball is just allowed to sit up for grabs. Cleared away by Dandy City. Now the foot race is on. Fletcher Fulton has the leg speed over Kenny Athew. Clears it away, but not too far. Dandy City looking to lurch forward once more. Appeals for a free kick, waved away. And there you go, that rapid transition again for Dandenong City. Just sending a few warning signs for Heidelberg United.
I think they know that's their moment, isn't it? They have to get on the front foot quickly. They're a very good defensive side as well. Heidelberg, a very impressive defensive record. And if you can get them quickly as they're moving out of possession, they're the phases of play where they're going to present you with the best opportunities.
Miscommunication there between Plant and Bauer. The former just feinting and leaving it to the latter, who wasn't aware that that was his teammate's intention. Buljuarch. Runs with Adara, who gets it to Savitangor. He beats one, cuts inside. Sets a task for Buljuarch, and whilst he was able to get to the ball, couldn't keep it in.
Yeah, well, talk about early warning signs. Looking at Sabit Ngor on this near sideline, I count 2 one-on-one duels where he's already skipped past his opposite number in Lino.
Buljuarch has 14 goals to his name so far in the campaign. He has moved out in front in the race for the Golden Boot, leading Joe Guest of the Oakley Cannons and Manny Agwek of Avondale. He's proven an inspired signing from the Altona Magic. As that ball bounces through, relatively simple collection for Pierce Clark. And Duarch has already matched his season total for the Magic last year. Got 14 at Paisley Park. Also level with Dean Heffernan for the 5th most goals in a single campaign for Heidelberg. And he's got plenty of time to overhaul those above him. 2 of those figures actually belonging to Kenny Athew. Of course, King Kenny, back in 2017, the most goals in the NPL era for Heidelberg, when he got 22. Clark went long. Fulton arrived to just put a body on Valley Chesnick.
I wonder, Joey, about the mindset of Dandenong City coming here tonight. Obviously, they're facing an opposition that has an incredibly good record so far. We saw some early games from Clark in goals.
As well just cut you off there, Lockie, as Savitangor gets the ball on the right flank for Heidelberg. Oh, he sells some candy and then cuts it back, but Dandenong City able to scramble it away.
Yeah, as I was saying, just Pierce Clark early on, about a couple of minutes ago, Ball kind of dropped dead in the box. Heidelberg just setting back into their formation, but the old goalkeeper games of not wanting to pick up the ball until pressured by a striker. Early 10 minutes into this game. Trying to tune down a few seconds.
Yokokawa can't wrangle that one. Back to Hancock. Looping ball sent long. Spills to Ali. Jamal Ali. Falls back to Collins. Lesiosis. Lethlead. Now Collins once more. So plenty of possession for Heidelberg at this exchange, but Dandenong City shape doing a good job to now of keeping them peripheral. All the way back to Souza, who's going to be forced to get rid of it in a hurry. And that's going to force a turnover. Kim's header finds Athieu. He's going to slide it forward. Peels for offside. They're not heated. Bauer's shot blocked away. Yeah, the discipline of Dandenong City, that shape almost comes up dividends.
Absolutely. It's the shape sitting off the ball, Dandenong City. They do paint a pretty clear picture, Heidelberg, of how they want to play. Obviously, it's been very tough to beat so far this season. But managing just to sit in their shape, be patient on the ball, Dandenong, and wait for those opportunities.
Now, Dandenong City tasked with finding a way through Heidelberg's defensive shape. Giannakopoulos to Clark, who sends it back to his centre-back. Ball sent over the top in the direction of Lino. Did he keep it in? No, he didn't. Daphne Ganaris is the assistant on this side of the park, raises her flag. Thomas Rushton is the assistant across from our broadcasting position. Yanni Zizis is the fourth official this evening. Mentions Yanni Miletus off the top, our referee in the middle. There'll certainly be no back chat to Miletus tonight. Last week he beat Brent Watkins via TKO in his debut fight in the Fusion Fighting Championships in Jiu-Jitsu in the cage.
That's a deep cut, Joey.
So, well, it's a braver player than I to back chat to a bloke coming off a TKO win in a steel cage.
Yes, brave indeed.
Foot race is on. Ryan Lethlin's going to get there first, but he's monstered by Athieu. In the end, the support came up from Plant, and that will poke the ball out. Heidelberg throw in. Ball very much in dispute. 6 bodies in close vicinity around it, and it will eventually be adjudged to be a Dandenong City ball. So throw in right in front of the visitors' dugout. Coach Nick Tolios up, barking instructions to his side. John Anastasiadis doing likewise in the Berger dugout. Turnover. Now there's space. Sabaton Gore looks to bring it down. Clark got a hand to it. Is it enough? Players scrambling back, blocked away. Danger not cleared. Ali centres it. And Dandy City survive by the skin of their teeth.
Well, it's a heroic block on the line by Jackson Leno. He did well to recover in good time to get something in front of that shot from Sabaton Gore. The turnover in midfield. Jackson Leno had cut inside to try and provide his team some positional advantage in midfield, and Sabaton Gore was left all alone on the right wing and almost had too much time.
Very important hand to it from Clark as the Heidelberg attacker tried to tee up his effort, just delaying that effort split second to allow the defenders to get back. So Clark, like you mentioned how busy he was last week, another sign that in the 17th minute of this contest that he might be in store for another important night, if not a busy one. Meanwhile, here comes Kenny Athew throwing his weight around. Did so fairly, but was off balance as he shot, and that results in a goal kick.
Yeah, I agree. Good physicality from King Kenny on his return to Olympic Village. Got the better of Ben Collins there. I think it's fascinating, Joey. Both teams obviously on the ball, really willing to take it slow out from the back, willing to take their time and build up. And obviously, as we've seen, these moments for both sides, the chances have come in these transitional phases.
Giannakopoulos centres the ball to Kim. We're going to break quickly as Dandenong City. Souza was caught in two minds, but that might have been because Plant was advancing on him from an offside position.
Yeah, maybe just a touch offside, but it's a great ball from Danny Kim. He had the awareness to check over the shoulder before he receives it in midfield. A little half turn, already knew where the runs were being made. Danger signs.
Souza sends it out to the right flank. Gore brings it down. Heidelberg have played through the first wave of pressure. Cannot beat Leno on their attacking right flank. Throw in. An opportunity for Dandenong City to reset.
And what we saw there is one of the most enjoyable parts of this Heidelberg team. Jamal Ali, he'll line up as a right back when they don't have the ball, but he sure does not feel limited by that position when they have it, does he?
Ball up for grabs. Dandenong City loop it forward. Left lean, header in front of Kenny Athew. Yokokawa, fresh off a number swap to 10. Kept the play moving along. Ball whipped in. It's going to fall. Can George get a shot away? Blocked away for another corner kick. And it's a corner kick greeted by the cries of Alexandros from Ace fans here at Olympic Village. So the tall timber forward for the Burgers. Whipped in. Awkward delivery. Dandenong City able to clear it, sent straight back in by Lesiotis. Couldn't make as sweet a contact with the volley as he would have liked. Appeals for a free kick, and they are heeded. Much to the disgust of Dandenong City. But McGowan was brought down. And it will be a set piece for the Burgers in a threatening position.
Anthony Lesiotis, he plays a big role in this team, has scored from a free kick before in this NPL Victoria season. Seems to be fancying his chances.
So indeed, we saw him net a screamer to beat the Melbourne Knights at this grounds. Had never scored for the Burgers prior to this campaign. He's helped himself to a few so far. Imagine he's lining up to take this one. Lesiotis straight into the wall. Much ado about nothing in the end.
Yeah, had to give it a little bit more of a chance from there. Never really quite challenged the height of the wall.
Collins just able to get away before Kenny Atthew arrived. Round two, Atthew thought better of pressing as it's sent out to Lethlean. Well, whipped central. Hancock got a touch. Some sharp passing from Dandenong City on the right. Now the switch of play. Will Bauer has a bit of time to figure out what he wants to do. Couldn't beat the first man. Retained possession though. Lino, Kim, scans. Sends it out to the right. Players waiting in the box. Nodded on. Back out to Bauer. Lino's delivery. Oh, it was a threatening looking one. But Plant couldn't bring it in.
Just not quite on the angle as they go forward to press again to Dandenong City. And the ball just a little bit of an awkward height for Plant to bring it down.
First time ball from Lesiotis. Threatening looking one. McGowan couldn't run it down. Hancock sent forward in the Atthew direction. Bounces past him. Lethlean defended the ball. That's going to be a free kick. No advantage to be found on that one. McGowan brought down rather agriculturally. Only Chesnick potentially lucky to avoid a yellow card.
Yeah, sorry, Joe. It's worth noting as well the defensive cover of Mo Idara in that early phase just before, as we see Jamal Ali, almost kind of like a winger. He likes to move forward and get in positions, and he trusts his teammates to cover him in those positions where he needs it. And Idara dutifully fulfilling that role.
Well, Cuba went down, vocally, we'll call it. And referee had to think about it, but eventually gave the free kick. Atherinos. It's a clever ball. Chesnick just able to keep it in. Heidelberg down the right flank. Low ball in. Plant picked up the second ball. Had that shot blocked away. Burgers looking to break quickly in transition. Big sliding challenge, and it's a free kick. Fletcher Fulton was looking to get forward in a hurry. And the visitors were having none of that.
Yeah, the claim straight away from Kim and the Dandenong bench. The ball was played. Obviously, the man collected as well. Either way, Heidelberg throw, Heidelberg free kick. Burgers have the ball.
Has never been shy about exchanging his opinions with the referees, as Coach Nick Tolios. As he side win the ball back here. Plant sends it out to the right. Wayward ball. Knocked forward quickly. Foot race is on. Plant against Lethlean. Lethlean had the angle. Wanted to go back to Souza. Athieu shut that down. And then the big man turns his marker. Gallops forward for laying it off. Lesiotis now. Dara. Collins. As the hosts just calm things down a little bit. Gore. Collins to Lethlean. Lesiotis finds Ali in the middle of the park. Dandenong City quickly scramble back and get numbers behind the ball. Adara. Wayward pass. Athieu. Wasn't clean in possession, and as he scrambled, the ball is taken away. Gore. Sea of red and blue shirts in front of him. Couldn't find the way through with the pass. But he's going to battle and win it back. Burgess now recessing. Knocking on the door. This drip, drip, drip of pressure will eventually wear down the Heidelberg defence. Lesiotis. Good ball forward, finds Yokokawa. Now the Burgers stream forward into the box. And it's a goal kick. Was that a goal kick, Lockie, or something more?
Well, it did look like there was contact from this position, obviously.
But it is a contact sport.
Correct. I absolutely agree. There is a threshold. We've seen this in Australian football in the past 12 months. That threshold has been raised for what contact is deemed worth a penalty, I'd say would be the language. And I think on the live view, I'm comfortable with that just being a goal kick.
Perhaps that threshold for contact is just a bit higher when the referee's a cage fighter.
You're
he gets punched in the face for fun. You've got to earn it when he's in the middle. Athieu providing the pressure. Souza had to be desperate. Got rid of it in a hurry. Bauer tried to send it around the corner. Sent it straight into the shins of Jamal Ali.
And it feels like the tension is just rising a little bit. There was a small little bit of afters between Diego Cuba and Sabit Gore on this near touchline a few moments ago as well. Feels like the level's just rising a touch.
Plant. And maybe switch the play, direct in traffic. Got it to Kim. Lino. Atherinos out to Chesnick. He's going to whip a ball in. Lethlean sends it clear. Not too clear. Kim was arriving. Burgers get a boot in. Lesiotis made sure he knew where Athieu was before he received it. Ali gets it central. Gore just ran out of real estate. It was being well marshalled by Giannakopoulos. So a half an hour gone in this one. Scores remain 0-0. Bit of tension, CB into the air. Maybe a bit of frustration as well for both of these sides. Both the Heidelberg and Dundee City defences, particularly the latter, have proven adept at just getting back maintaining their discipline and blunting their opponents in possession.
Yeah, I think you're right. And we talked about some of the personnel changes that Dandenong City have had in the last couple of weeks. They have shifted around their structure just a little bit as well. We see, obviously, they have the ball at the moment, but sitting off it, more of that kind of flat 4-4-2. And they allow the compact areas for them to come into.
Well, that's a bit of a horror turnover, and maybe that gives Heidelberg scope to find the breakthrough. Ngor went back and got it. Adara. Dandy City, though, now have 11 behind the ball. Collins sends the ball in. Again. Heidelberg attacker goes down, and again. It's waved away. Think that was the right call. McGowan, not a lot of contact.
No, I think ball clearly played out for the corner. Correct decision again from the referee. But this is starting to build up a few set pieces now for Heidelberg. The pressure is going on this Dandy City defence.
Now another set piece. Can be swung in by the Burgers. So Yokokawa to deliver on this right-hand side. Outswinging, right-footed effort. Inbounds. It's a good one. Dandenong City got the clearing header. And Heidelberg will reset through Lesiotis. Clever flick on by Moadara. And that's the breakthrough goal. Buljuach. He cannot be stopped. 15 on the season.
The Raging Bull continues his form. And what a touch from Moadara. As soon as the ball hit the back of the net, he turned around and he pointed straight at the face of Anthony Lesiotis, who played a lovely pass to be polished off and pushed into the path of the Raging Bull for Heidelberg's first goal of the evening.
As the crowd rises to their feet, Heidelberg had been frustrated for much of this opening half an hour, but there the play developed quickly. Dandenong City didn't have time to get back and get set up properly in their shape. And Buljuach, he made no mistake. He now moves level with Kane Shepherd's total from 2022 for the most goals in a single season. And surely, well, Kenny Matthews' 2016 haul now in his sights, 17. And he's got Dan Heffernan's 18 from 2014. And then the Kings, 22.
And you have to question, what was he doing for the first 5 games of the season? Only the 1 goal. He's gone now 14 from 15 since he's on. Just an incredible run of form.
Indeed, that's now 4 straight goals for him as well. 4 straight games, I should say, with a goal. And one would have to think as well, the 9 role, it is the hardest position on the park to fill. And he's 24 years old, is Buljuach, and fine goal-scoring form, and he's about to get a national stage to show his wares in the Australia Cup. And, well, he only needs to look across from him and his opposite number 9 for Dandy City to see what kind of platform and what sort of opportunities can arise from that.
Absolutely. We've seen one number 9 from Heidelberg, Kenny Matthews, get his gig in the top professional level of Australian football. And for a player like Buljuach doing it at this quantity this season for Heidelberg, you have to imagine when that opportunity in the national phases of the Australia Cup comes, there's going to be plenty of interested watchers.
The Burgers, as drawn by Matt McKay and the Suited and Booted boys during the week, they will play host to Northern New South Wales Western Bears in the round of 32. Certainly a draw, no doubt, that John Anastasiadis would have preferred. Players probably prefer an away day in the round of 32, but if you're not going to draw an A-League side, as a coach, you're always wanting that home game so your players don't have to jump on a plane. Training can proceed as regularly as possible. And the flag goes up.
It does seem to be the way. The coaches want the home game. The players want the away trip. Go on the plane or the bus with the boys and have a good time. just finally on that goal as well, I think it really brilliantly places the importance of Anthony Lesiotis. He plays that often single role in defensive midfield. We know that Heidelberg commit a lot of numbers forward, as they are doing again.
Yes, I'll just interrupt as Yokokawa sends something in. Ricocheting around, eventually booted clear. But momentum, well and truly, has swung behind the side in black and yellow.
Absolutely, and Lesiotis, he has the responsibility not to give the ball away when they are in a vulnerable position, but if he can find the right pass, as he did to Moai Dara for the goal, then the rewards are just as sweet.
So Heidelberg leading this game 1-0 in search of a second. Fancy footwork at the top of the box. Couldn't fashion a shooting opportunity. I guess just as importantly, if you are Heidelberg, and no doubt something that will be of particularly import for the coaches over there as well, it's now more than 300 minutes since the Burgers conceded in league play. Coming into this game off the back of a 1-0 win over Preston, followed by a 2-0 win over the Thunder, followed by a 1-0 win over Hume. So clean sheets coming out of that laundry at Olympic Village. There's that ball tantalisingly across the face of goal, but nobody there to meet it.
And of course, you look at the form book as these two teams head into this match. Dandy City, in opposition to that, they've struggled to score goals. Obviously, they had that own goal against Dandenong Thunder, but you have to go back to round 15 against the Preston Lions since their last game, until they won that 2-1 game against Altona Magic last weekend. So they've been in a slight barren run in front of goal.
Remains Tim Atharinos, the only Dandenong City player to score in the last month. So, lean times for Dandy City. Kenny Matthews' goal against Preston back in round 15, his most recent. So they want to get their talisman going if they are to kickstart not only their pursuit of a leveller in this one, but also their hunt for the top six. They entered this evening 2 points behind 6th place Preston, who play the Oakley Cannons this evening. And just 1 point clear of Green Gully in 8th, who face the Altona Magic this weekend. So, potentially falling further behind the top 6 places if this result holds, and also potentially overhauled for 7th place if Gully is able to get something against the Magic. Can Heidelberg add something on the stroke of half-time? Not on that occasion. Atharinos came under some pressure, but had teammates to bail him out. Clark. Across to Giannakopoulos. High looping ball forward. Malik Chesnick, the intended recipient, headed away from him. McGowan. Did he keep it in? No, he didn't. Jay McGowan making just his second start of the 2025 campaign. Also got the start back in round 8 against Altona. In his first season with the Burgers, coming down from the NPL New South Wales, where he was with the Sutherland Sharks. Has played in the Cup, of course. He's Plant gives chase. Lethlean getting across. Had the bigger body. Atherinos was unable to find a way to wriggle through. Back to Hancock. To Giannakopoulos, potential on for the switch from right to left. Just under 4 minutes of regulation remaining on the scoreboard here at the Olympic Village. The attack breaks down. Calm passing from the Burgers as they look to spring forth. Ali stood up by Bauer. Back to Souza. Kept play moving. Lethlean. Kept it along the turf. Looking for Bulgearch. Didn't come off. Souza. Had it measured.
Yeah, just almost a little bit of an awkward moment. Ben Collins coming 50 miles an hour the complete opposite direction. The ball just ended up in Yaron Souza's grasp inside the penalty box.
Ball's attempted first-time pass for Mohamed Dahra. Sorry for Jamal Ali, doesn't come off. God, he does get forward in a flash, does that right back. Lesiotis, clever use of the body. Fulton sends it back to Lethlean. So just over a minute of regulation remaining. Burgers content to take their time. Fulton lays it off. Low ball central, Bulgearch. Adara gets it from Ali. Back to Ali, looking for Adara once more, but Lino will shepherd it over the line.
And the combinations for Heidelberg. Pulling off some very nice passes through the midfield. It just feels like that goal scored in the 33rd minute. That tension was building. It just simmered it back down again. Heidelberg looking extremely comfortable in the final 10 minutes of this first half.
And with the binoculars out, I think I can see that fourth official Yannis Isis has 1 minute of added time set up on the fourth official's board. So just an extra 60 seconds to play at the end of regulation, of which there is 10 seconds remaining per the scoreboard here. Bauer nodded it on. Matthew couldn't claim. Fulton, his pass will go all the way back to Souza. As Yannis Isis makes it official, 1 minute of added time to end this opening stanza. Lesiotis. Good pass forward. McGowan looking for Yokokawa. So Yokokawa looking for Bulgearch. It's going to get to him. What a save, but the rebound somehow will stay out. Good Lord. How this game is not 2-0, I do not know.
Well, you'd put your house on Bulgearch netting home a goal in this kind of form. As Dandenong City do break forward, Pierce Clark is still on his knees, feeling the effect of that shot. But wow, it was an amazing half turn to gain himself a half a yard of space inside the box, and Joey Well, it brings the first half to a close. A massive chance for Heidelberg.
Indeed, as the players begin to make their way off into the dressing room, an absolute dagger to the hearts of Dandenong City avoided on the stroke of half-time. Paul Duarch somehow not claiming himself a brace, and that means that as they make their way to the dressing room, Pierce Clark finally getting back to his feet and walking gingerly into the dugout. The game will remain. gets underway in this round 20 NPL Men's Victoria contest between Heidelberg United and Dandenong City. And if you are just joining us, first of all, welcome. Secondly, you join us with Heidelberg United leading 1-0 thanks to Buljuarch's 15th goal of the campaign, striking in the 33rd minute to set Heidelberg on their path for a 19 straight game without defeat and to shore up their place atop the NPL Men's Victoria table. But Dandenong City, well and truly still in this game, given life by a double missed chance from Buljuarch with just seconds remaining in the opening stanza, and now searching for 1 point, if not 3, that would keep them within striking distance of the top 6. And really, if Oakley are going to continue doing the business over the Preston Lions, currently leading that contest 4-0 in the opening 20 minutes of the game, well, if they can find a way to come back into this one and secure the 3 points, spot the top 6 up for grabs. My name is Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for your company on this stream on the NPL Victoria YouTube page. I'm joined by Lachlan Avil. Lock, what are you looking for in the second half from both sides as they search for 3 points?
Yeah, Joey, it's going to be fascinating to see how this game plays out. Dandenong City have come out of the sheds clearly with a bit of intent. Will Bauer went straight through the chest of Ben Collins on his path to Yaron Souza, trying to pick up the ball in the press. But he was denied. It's going to be interesting to see. The trap, I think, for Dandenong City will be to go too hard against Heidelberg. As we know, they're good at building out as the offside flag goes up. But the trap is you don't want to commit too many numbers in dangerous positions, because Heidelberg, they have the ability to cut through you if they do.
As Heidelberg have themselves a free kick for the offside. Can take you around the ground. So in other action, Green Gully hosting the Altona Magic. That second half has just got underway. Green Gully leading Altona 2-1, albeit Gully reduced to 10. So 45 minutes for the Magic to use a one-player advantage to try to get themselves back into the game. This game, 1-0 to Heidelberg United. South Melbourne leading Hume 1-0. That game 6 minutes into the second stanza. As mentioned, the Oakley Cannons leading Preston 4-0 inside 20 minutes. So the Cannons, having dropped 2 straight games, well on their way to comprehensively get themselves back in the winner's circle. And Port Melbourne and St Albans, the late kickoff, that one 25 minutes in, no goals. As Yokokawa's pass looking to set up Heidelberg for a second doesn't come off, but transition potentially on for the visitors. Atherinos, Hollywood in his eyes, however, sends that one high into the night sky.
Well, in retrospect, he might have looked for a teammate there. There's 45 minutes left in this game. We don't have to be taking shots from that distance, I'd imagine. He had support with King Kenny alongside him. You mentioned that. Oakley scored, Joey. Man, have they had an eventful couple of weeks, conceding 5 goals to Melbourne victory. Chris Taylor's sides do not do that too often. They broke the Dynamo curse of 2-2 draws. And now an early start here.
As Cuba sends it across, just unable to pick out a late arriving teammate. Come back to you, Lockie, in a second as Heidelberg look to press their advantage, and they'll get themselves a corner kick.
Yeah, plenty going on around the grounds. Of course, Heidelberg, they'll have their eyes firmly placed on tomorrow's action as well. You've got Avondale second place in the league against Dandenong Thunder in third. It's going to be a great game, but
they'll extend their lead in one regard or another.
Exactly. If they can hang on to these 3 points, they're going to gain some space on one of those two teams.
Cuba whips the ball towards the top of the box. It's sent back in, blocked away. Plant. And it taken away from him as he looked to tee up a second effort. And then, well, Lino just put his boot through it. And that's the clearance. As far as we can tell from our position here in the commentary booth, there have been no changes for either side at halftime break. As Hancock pokes it away from Heidelberg there. So the bench options, well, for the hosts, they've got Ryan Govan, the backup goalkeeper, Chock Dow, Anthony Theodoropoulos, Peter Klassen, and then 2 new signings for Heidelberg in line to make their debuts. Keela Raffi, New South Welshman, who had been plying his trade in England, now signed with Heidelberg, in line to make his debut. And Scott, Francis Ross, a winger who formerly part of the Aberdeen youth system, also spent some time in the United States, who was last playing in Nepal. So from the heights of the Himalayas to Olympic Village in Heidelberg. Well, they'll watch on from the dugout for now as Dundee City tried to fashion something. Bauer's going to have to go back behind himself and get that one off to Lino.
It's only fair that someone with an Aberdeen history ends up in Australia, given all the Aussies going the other way around at the moment.
Yeah, about time. Starting to take in a few of our own. Those handy additions to Heidelberg United. Always, well, at some point, Johnny Anastasiadis is going to have to make some rotation changes, one would assume. So depth is always handy, as that ball is deflected out.
And as you're alluding to, Joey, the pure quantity of fixtures that await them in the back half of this calendar year. Of course, they're looking pretty good for qualification, as we say, to the Australian Championship. That ends up being a very long season for these players.
Indeed, Australia Cup national stages, NPL Victoria, NPL Men's Victoria Finals, the Doherty Cup as well. So certainly you could see Heidelberg United would undoubtedly have their eyes set on, well, a potential treble.
Yeah.
And potentially even more. So that ball's whipped in, and it has found the net. Corner kick, swung in, was met, and was trying to figure out if it found the side netting or the inside of the post. It was the latter, and this game is level.
Well, it was King Kenny at the near post who won the header, and you're right, Joey, deceived most of the audience and ourselves up here in the commentary box. But that's a great start for Dandenong City. No more than 7 minutes into this second half, they've reached parity again.
And King Kenny, his 8th on the campaign. That moves him level with Brendan Chantalab's 8 in 2019. Second most in the NPL Men's Victoria era for Dundee City. Now only trails Dario Matkovic's 12 back in 2014. As Lesiotis splays that out to the right flank. Burgers looking to answer back quickly. They'll have themselves a corner with which to attempt to do so. And Kenny Athieu now has 61 NPL Men's Victoria goals across his career. Of course, missed out on several years with Melbourne Victory and also during his time in Southeast Asia. So that ball is swung in. Athieu with the defending before the follow-up volley is splayed wide. So I'm just checking, Joe Guest not amongst the Oakley Cannon goal scorers tonight. So that brings Athieu to within 1 goal of Joe Guest amongst active players in the rankings. Guest has 62. In front of them, Kane Shepherd on 68, Alex Salmon 81, and Wade Decker out in front as well on 81.
Of course, when the name Joe Guest comes up, we're thinking about Golden Boot considerations as well. Paul George came into this fixture with a 1-goal lead, and that has now been extended to 2. Well, that's a drag back from Ryan Lethlean on Kenny Athieu. And a little bit of afters. Referee's got something to do here.
Cuba. Bit of fire from the Dandenong City midfielder. Did see a few flashpoints with Cuba in particular in the opening stanza, didn't we, look?
Yeah, we did. He had a little bit, was a bit in gore. And I must say, Joey, I'm a little bit surprised Ryan Lethlean has escaped without a booking in this scenario. It appeared like a pullback of the shirt into an attacking phase. But Dandenong City will just have to make the most of this set-piece opportunity.
Well, Cuba is one of the players standing over it. Atherinos there. Kim sort of in the vicinity before he backs off, but Looks as though Cuba has claims this one and will look to drop it onto the head of a teammate. Headed clear, not too far away. Hancock couldn't bustle his way through. Lino. Could see what he was attempting to do so there, but a bit too much power on it.
Yeah, I think almost kind of the confusion around that goal just kind of set a little bit of an awkward jolt into this game. We're back at level terms with 35 minutes to play, and we're as we've seen from the majority of this match so far. And for all the team talks, you go into halftime, you're preparing for a scenario, all of a sudden it changes.
Ball sent in, and well, Souza had to come out and claim it bravely because Atherinos was lurking. Maybe just darted into a blind spot of the defence. McGowan sends it high and forward, but it'll bounce into the hands of Piers Clark. So Heidelberg United, their defence has penetrated after more than 300 minutes. Had entered this game off the back of 3 straight clean sheets. And, well, you mentioned it at the top of the broadcast, Locke. The only time they've dropped points across their unbeaten run in the league was when Max Besetto was out of the side against St Albans. He's out of the side today with a yellow card suspension. And all of a sudden, Dandenong City have this game tied up at 1-1.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I was here a couple of weeks ago in St Albans. They came out of the gate with real energy, similarly to what Dandenong City have done in the opening stanza of this first half. But Heidelberg United, they've gone through this season with so much quality, so many wins, and keeping that clean sheet intact. Obviously, it's gone here tonight, but that defensive resiliency, especially with more than half an hour still to play, you've got to have trust in your ability that they can go and get the lead back in this one.
McGowan lays it off to Fletcher Fulton. Lesiotis trying to get rid of it in a hurry, but he did so. Sabaton Gore outside of the boot pass is a good one. Oh, Adara. That's a good layoff as well. There's a shot deflected. Buljuarch on another night has 4 goals. He still only has 1.
It's just one from Buljuarch into the crossbar again for the second time in this match. And again, it's that combination down the right side between Jamal Ali and Mo Adara that is proving extremely fruitful. And as you say, Joey, it's amazing that Buljuarch only has 1 goal in this contest.
The crossbar is the 12th man for Dandenong City thus far. Twice it has conspired to deny the Heidelberg talisman, as has, checking the replay, what we think was Piers Clark's face.
Whatever you got to do.
And now the question will be whether this accumulative pressure at some point will produce a breakthrough, a moment where Buljuarch can find a second goal on this evening or one of his teammates, or is if, as is so often the case in football, these missed opportunities are punished up the other ends. Chesnick, the advantage is played. Giannakopoulos, as the ball bounced back to him. Not a lot in front of him, so he went to Atherinos. Plant. Heidelberg's getting back, getting organised. Hancock coming under immediate pressure. Sends it back to Clark. And he's going to come under fierce pressure. Charge down. Surely. It is. Buljuarch has his second. There may have been a handball there, though, as well.
Well, the protests are immediate from the Dandenong City players. From this vantage point, it was a clear touch of the arm. Joey, I don't know if you know the ins and outs of the law book.
Pretty sure that is a handball. If indeed he has handled it, there's no VAR in the NPL Victoria. We'll bring up the YouTube page and get it back, look at it back on that.
So there is provisions around making your body bigger, but if it is the player that scores a goal and makes contact with the arm, my understanding is that should be a free kick. But regardless, it is a goal. It has been given, and Bull Juarch, for all his trials and tribulations so far in this game, on the score sheet it reads Heidelberg 2, Dandenong City 1.
I've had a look at this replay, Locke. I'll give it to you now. Tell me what you see.
Well, obviously it's a stumble, and the ball goes up, and well, it clearly hits the arm of Bull Juarch.
So perhaps after fortune was against him on a series of close-range efforts, the rapid move in transition, everyone was sprinting back. You have to give him credit for the way that he pressed Clark and forced the turnover. But fortune smiles upon him on that occasion. Heidelberg would, of course, claim that it's all they deserve and more.
Absolutely. We talk about Piers Clark. Do whatever you can to keep the ball out of the net.
So that ball is swung in. Souza got a hand to it, sends it away. And that ball is rolled out. So a bit of drama infused into this game. Dandenong City inevitably will feel aggrieved. Can they use that as fuel, as momentum? As Chesnick, it's a good sliding challenge from Fletcher Fulton, who now gets on the ball and knocks it away. Hancock sends it back from whence it came. Giannakopoulos around the corner. Chesnick charged down quickly by Lethlean. Corner. As it looks like Dandenong City are preparing 2 changes. Or is it 3? There's a bunch of players standing up there. They've got Matt Marooms, the backup goalkeeper. Corey Sewell, Jamie Latham. They both missed last week. They're both available off the bench. Yagub Mustafa, Nicholas Theonis, and Oscar Colgate-Jones. Atherinos' ball swung in. Nobody there wearing a Dandenong City shirt to meet it. Scramble, it's going to come out. Surely, no. Matthew denied. Now, transition potentially on Bull Juarch. He's only got Atherinos to beat, and then the keeper looking for a hat-trick. Juarch denied. The follow-up cleared away.
Well, you can't take your eyes off this game at the moment. Action absolutely from end to end. Bull Juarch gets the better of Jackson Lino and gets in behind. And wow, the level in this game is rising fast.
And now 3 changes coming for Dandenong City. Yagub Mustafa, he'll come on for Danny Kim. Corey Sewell will enter the fray in place of Nathan Hancock. And we await just the signal on the board from Yanni Zizas. I'm pretty sure there was 3 changes there.
I think so, yes. I believe I also saw the number 0. You don't see that too often.
Hey? But it is all happening here at the Village. As we scan proceedings to just try to take stock of what has happened here at Olympic Village. Heidelberg have themselves a throw-in on this right flank. Jamie Latham has entered the game as well, so it was a triple sub for Dandenong City. He's gone into the midfield. I think it was Cuba that made way for him. Lesiotis, long-range effort, blocked away. Gowan's flick, couldn't find a teammate, long ball forward. Matthew lurks, but Collins was good with his pass. And now movement on the Burger bench, as you can see behind the action. Couple of changes being prepared by Johnny Anastasiadis. His side back in the lead. Now seeking to defend it. Fulton collides with Chesnick. Free kick. And as we look around the grounds, fortunately for Dandenong City, Altona has equalised against Green Gully. So Gully not overhauling their points total as we see Yokokawa and McGowan make way. We'll come to you for who's come on in the second lock. St Albans has now taken a 2-0 lead over Port Melbourne in their clash. That one intriguing in the relegation battle. And as we look now on the live ladder, Dandenong City losing this game once more, but that equaliser from Altona ensures that they would remain 7th should this game finish in its current state. And Preston, well, they're going to lose to Oakley, down 4-0 inside 20 minutes, so they'd still only be 2 clear of them. And Hume, meanwhile, losing 1-0 to South Melbourne, ensures that they would only be 4 points clear. So not a disastrous evening for Dandenong City as it currently stands, but when you look at results from elsewhere, this could go down as a significant opportunity missed. Yeah. As much as a significant opportunity against a runaway league leader can be missed.
Absolutely. I mean, we're at that point of the season. There's so few games to go. You can start playing out and seeing the permutations in front of you. There's only so many more opportunities to pick up points. And for two sides who are chasing finals football and the premiership and all these things.
Ball is swung in. It's a clever flick. Sent around the corner. And you could see what Bauer was doing, and he made decent contact with it, but it took a deflection, and that took the sting out of it. And so it claims.
Absolutely. So we're going to see, obviously, one of these new sightings for Heidelberg now. Francis Ross, the Scot. It's interesting. He appeared initially on the left wing, but now he seems to have slotted into midfield as well. Shocked out on that left wing option.
So Lesiotis across the left lane. Sent forward, Choctaw giving chase. Buljarch there as well. Knocked clear. Plant. Dandenong City ball. Chesnick. Yaqub Mustafa. Latham dragging it back onto his left. Chesnick. Giannakopoulos to Bauer. Gets it back. Plant. Heavy touch. Ross poked it away, the newly introduced Scott. New signing, making his Burgers debut. Free kick, Dandy City. Chance to get the tall timber forward.
And just a little bit of a moment to breathe as well. It's been a frantic 15, 20 minutes or so. The picture has been painted. 20 minutes to go. Dandenong City look to play it quickly, but they won't be allowed to. As the referee resets the free kick to deliver a yellow card.
Yeah, Tolios, Coach Nick Tolios goes into the book for, I think he was providing feedback to 4th Division Yanni Zizis there, and referee Yanni Melidis just intervening. Okay, now the free kick is taken short. Whipped in. It's not a good delivery.
No. They're going to need more than that, Dandy City. And to make effective use of these set pieces in the final third. We're getting into that crunch time now. You've got to push forward. You've got to make things happen. As I'm sure was the intent. And we can see Heidelberg now in a position with the lead 2-1, taking their time. And this is where they love to be, playing the ball out and taking control of a game of football.
Nodded on by Fletcher Fulton. Choctaw, the West Australian, runs onto it. Went down in an absolute heap. And that's going to earn a yellow card. Corey Sewell certainly of the opinion that the contact didn't justify the level of tumble, but it's a free kick.
Yeah, I think level of contact, obviously, Choctaw going to ground. When you're in that position, streaming forward, it's not quite about the contact. If it is there, then the classification of a free kick and the breakdown is therefore providing the yellow card. And now it's Heidelberg's turn to set up a free kick in the attacking third.
So, Choctaw up on his feet and preparing to take this one. Will be a two-player wall for Dandenong City. Pierce Clark just barking instructions this way and then that way. Has to be careful for the cheeky shot. But you've got everybody forward for Heidelberg. Not the best delivery. Still met before eventually being scrambled clear. Bauer seized upon it. Ali was the one who couldn't bring her in. But the Heidelberg defender recovers quickly and just snuffs out any hope of transition.
And he just had numbers streaming forward. Mustafa and Latham in open air on the right side, down the right wing, streaming forwards. Another one of those maybe moments.
Chesnick, that's a good ball. Just unable to be brought in by Plant. Heidelberg looking to play it out, and they've done so well. Moadara. To Ali. Good pass. Ross. He lost the ball. Latham. Ball is whipped back in. Players there, but Souza makes the claim on his goal line. Ali showing his marker a clean pair of heels. George just unable to wrangle it before Clark fell on it. He is after a hat-trick. Here's George that would take him to 17 goals on the season.
Incredible.
With plenty of football still to come. Winds up from range. Decent contact, but not the type of contact you require to beat Clark from that vicinity.
No, not quite. And we just saw as well, Jamal Ali, his ability off right back to cut through defences, well, I say defence, the first line of defence in the press, and just provide numbers forward of the ball and allow his teammates to run onto passes. He's such a crucial part of this Heidelberg team.
Corey Sewell couldn't get rid of it. That's going to see Heidelberg force a turnover. Moadara. Buljuarch looking to play the 1-2. Gets away from them. Fulton. Choctaw. Fancy footwork before he lays it back off for Fulton. Lesiotis to Dow. Rides one challenge before he has his pocket picked. Plant. Lesiotis was coming. He had to lay the pass, and that's going to enable Collins to steal it away. Free kick. And Heidelberg have already taken it. Getting it to Ali. Gore. Running against Lino. Trying to split the two markers. And he's kept going. Hancock just able to bring the ball in before Bulge could pounce. Plant goes down. Play on is the call. Back and forth action here at Olympic Village. Dara came away with it. Sent it to Bulge. Chucked our weights in the middle. Hancock, though, played the tackle.
And we've seen they're getting forward, Dandenong City, into some pretty good areas in the final third, but it's just that last pass that hasn't quite been there. Will Bauer was absolutely busting a gut to try and get on the end of a pass from Latham. But it's just that last moment to get in front of the goal of Heidelberg that is causing Dandenong City some troubles.
As Hajduk preparing another change in their dugout, we'll await the moment when another infusion is made off the bench by Coach Nick Telios, who are certainly opening up and trying to force things in search of an equaliser. And as we have seen in these last exchanges, that is also giving Heidelberg United opportunities on the break and in transition.
And I fancy this will be a debut for Oscar Colgate-Jones, number 14 for Dandenong City, who will look to replace Diego Cuba in midfield when the substitution can be made.
Signal goes up, the ball is sent in. And now potential for transition. Mustafa, he does have Latham in support. That's where the ball goes. It's a fantastic ball in front of him. But the speed with which Heidelberg, we're going to get back. Mustafa! It's 2-0! It's 2-2. Backflipping away, Mustafa. It is 2-2, not 2-0. Lockie, this game is tied up.
Oh, mate, Joey, what a run. We've just talked about the fact that the final third balls haven't quite been there. Mustafa picked the right pass at the right moment for Latham. All eyes of the Heidelberg defence are drawn over to him, and Mustafa is just allowed a free lane towards the goal. The ball is played in well, and it's a very tidy finish. And this game is back at even.
And the change is also made for Dandenong City, so the equaliser won't shift Coach Nick Telios' plans. Apologies for all the viewers, I talk a lot of nonsense sometimes, no more so than that. Now with just over 10 minutes remaining, Heidelberg United will have to respond. Hajduk were throwing haymakers and one has landed.
Did I mention that draw against St Albans was 2-2?
Here we go. Max Possesso, are you watching? Maybe lay off the yellow cards. Your team needs you. Latham, around the corner. Fulton. Can Heidelberg answer back quickly? Not on this occasion. Big coming together. Fulton took it away from Latham. And that'll be a free kick and a yellow card.
Potentially a foul of frustration more than much else from Chesnik. Sees himself go into the book. And now isn't this game placed nicely? Another free kick for Heidelberg right on this corner of the box.
So Lesiotis will take this one. It's another two-player wall for Dandenong Sissy. Lesiotis with a delivery. It's a good one. Cleared away the first time of asking. A fresh airy on the follow-up attempt from Jamal Ali. Matthew trying to just use his body to work Lethlean away from the ball. Didn't come off. Mustafa's challenge. Matthew pokes it back to him. Gets it to Matthew round the corner for Latham. Ball across the face. Second ball up for grabs. Poked away by Heidelberg. Chokdale just says anywhere but here. Lino gets there first. Long ball forward. Mustafa's going to get there as well as Fulton. Mustafa couldn't get the shot away. Lethlean, the vital intervention.
It just didn't quite sit right. Fletcher Fulton, he got his head down to try and get some extra paces in. Just lost sight of the ball and found Mustafa running in behind. Geez, another close moment.
Gore cutting inside, has it blocked away. Feels like if there is to be a match winner, Mustafa shaping as the man to be it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's made a really good impact since he's come onto the pitch. And especially, like Dandenong City, since that goal, the momentum is definitely theirs, although here come Heidelberg.
Ball sent out to the right. And it'll be a Dandenong City ball.
And we've talked, Joey, at length about the consequences of this game for the seasons of both sides, chasing finals, chasing trophies, indeed, for Heidelberg. When we get to this point in the season, every little touch, every little tackle seems to mean that much more because the full vision, the full picture is in focus.
Latham. Not a lot of support in front of him. Went behind him. Plant has to recover. Ball goes flying. And it's going to be an offside. So we look around the grounds. The last 10 minutes of games across Melbourne. This game, 2-2. Thanks to Yagub Mustafa. South Melbourne lead Hume City 2-1. It's still 2-2 in Green Gully and Altona. And at halftime in the other games, Oakley still with that 4-0 lead over Preston. St Albans a 2-0 lead over Port Melbourne. So as we look at the live standings, this result would bring Dandenong City to within a point of Preston. Chokdale chases that one down. To Lesiotis. He loses the ball. Dandenong City try to break quickly, but it's shut down. Latham instead forced to go out to the left flank and then just knock a bit of a nothing ball, really.
And, of course, the other thread to that equaliser from Dandenong is that they feel it will be just deserves for that second Bourgeois goal. It did strike his hand on his way through. So they feel like they're where they should be. As we see, they do have a player down, but play will continue.
Plant has gone down. Sousa off his line to shut down that pass for Latham. Meanwhile, this result will leave Heidelberg just 4 points clear of Avondale, ahead of their meeting with the Thunder this weekend. Oakley, meanwhile, are going to move 6 points clear of Hume if results hold. So the top four increasingly separating themselves.
It was Brad Plant going down with a little bit of cramp from what it looked like from here, who was next to a very unapologetic Choctaw who didn't want to.
Through for Adara. It's going to be poked back. Juarch claims the ball. Twisting, turning. Appeals for a handball. Waved away. Lesiotis came through. Said, that's my ball. Has his shot blocked. Not the most convincing of clearances. But it'll suit Dandenong City in the end. Ball out intended for Atthew. Taken away by Collins. Ross working on that right flank. Two defenders to beat. Cannot do so. Atthew forced to hold it up. He's forced all the way back. Newly introduced Akil Raffi. In his back. And here come the Burgers. Dwatch cuts it back. Goal kick.
Another moment. I fancy that did take a deflection off a Dandenong City player, and that's definitely what the Heidelberg players are appealing to the referee for. But we've got movement on the bench, Joey.
So Nick Theonis is going to come on for Dandenong City. Peter Klassen is going to come on for Heidelberg. And I think Anthony Theodoropoulos might be receiving his summons as well. So both coaches emptying their benches. So Buljuarch appears to, Buljuarch, one of the players that's come off for Heidelberg. Just a raft of changes made from both sides. Choctaw, Chesnick at his back. So he sends it to Lesiotis.
I believe Mo Adara was another one of those substitutions for Theodoropoulos in midfield.
So which side's fresh legs can make a difference? If either can, it would surely be a match-winning difference at this point. Heidelberg trying to dig it out on their attacking right flank. Taken away by Heidelberg, but only momentarily. Hacked down behind the scenes was a Berger player, but the advantage was played. And then the turnover. Here comes Dandenong City. Peels for offside. The flag stays down. Poked away, but only initially. Free kick. So here we go, all hands on deck for both sides.
Well,
the set piece will come in the 90th minute.
The tension is rising again. Yellow cards are coming out. I fancy Akil Raffi not wasting too much time, getting stuck in. A little bit of a shove in the back of Jamie Latham as they were getting up off the pitch from one of the earlier scuffles. But here we go, as Joey said, any goal now almost surely the winner as we tick very close to injury time. So much on the line for these two teams. The tension is building.
So we got Latham and Bauer standing over it. Will be the former to take. Atthew at the top of the box. Theonis in there as well. Giannakopoulos has come forward. He makes a darting run. Low ball. See the thinking behind it. Execution lacking.
Yeah, execution not quite there. No time to dwell on it though. We're approaching the final moments.
15 seconds of regulation remaining on the scoreboard here at Olympic Village. We wait to see what the fourth official, Yannis Isis, will signal. Both sides looking to finish with wet sails. They're not going to die wondering. 5 minutes of added time in Olympic Village. Mustafa gives chase. Souza, a mile out of his box, cleared it away. Mustafa, he's onside to receive. Good looking ball in the Bauer direction, cleared away.
I'll tell you what, Ben Collins isn't going to die wondering either, making a marauding run out from centre back.
Lino to Mustafa, sent back, Dandenong City. Looking to build Corey Sewell. Out to Chesnick. Chesnick with a delivery. It's a high one towards the back post, headed away. Latham gives chase. It was Arlead with the clearance. Mustafa floats it in over the head of Bauer.
Well, a cross into the box, a few feet long, is about the worst that Mustafa has done since entering the pitch. He's made a great impact. You can see Yaron Souza very quick to get the ball back in play. Heidelberg want this one.
Fletcher Fulton sends it forward for Chokdao. Potentially overshadowed by Mustafa's contribution on the other side, but Chokdao's been plenty busy since he's come on.
Yeah, he has. He's made a great impact as well. And credit to the coaches, Nick Tolios, Johnny 8, making the right decisions at the right time. They've really set up this second half.
Both sides in search of what would surely be a winner. What is the decision? It's going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, no complaints from Fulton. Back to his mark. As it appears, we'll have a little bit of time off as Sewell is on the ground, but he is off the pitch.
Sewell did miss last week. The defensive utility. Play on is signalled. Grunt of effort from Clark as it's knocked forward. Deflected back. Atthew gave chase. Awkward ball for Souza, but he was able to get a boot through it. Leno sends it back to the advantage of Hajduk. Klassen couldn't bring it down for Heidelberg. Mustafa loops it forward. Bauer battling for it. Left lean, poked it away, but looks like Bauer's hurt himself. That'll be a free kick and a yellow card.
Yeah, professional foul, well worth a yellow. I'm a little bit worried about Bill Bauer here. He might have just been clipped on the ankle, maybe just some studs down the back. He's got to get on with it, not much time to go.
Hopeful ball down the right. Clever defending from Leno in the end, sending it into the shins of Ali and then out to his side's advantage.
And let's say check of the shin pads as he stands over the ball and delivers it back to Pierce Clark. A point against Heidelberg is a rare thing this season, Joey.
So that unbeaten run of Heidelberg looks like it is going to continue, but at this stage, short of something miraculous, Yagub Mustafa is going to perhaps deny them the 3 points. Maybe fatigue beginning to show. Both sides have emptied their benches, but a bit of sloppiness creeping in. Turned around the corner. Souza's going to run across. Clear it away. Fulton had space to bring it down. Got it past Latham. With a Chokdao. Heidelberg getting numbers in the box. Lofted in. Klassen's header straight at Clark. Atthew directing traffic. Ball went opposite from where he wanted it. Left lean, sent it forward. Atthew wins the free kick. He was kicked from behind. Didn't react, but it was a foul.
Yeah, it was. And we saw a little bit of difficulty just from the Heidelberg defence measuring that ball. I wonder if that drop kick from Pierce Clark maybe just flies slightly differently, a little harder to get a hold of.
Well, it's an opportunity now for Dandenong City to get numbers forward. Latham's standing over it. Very little time for either side to secure a goal at this point. Latham gets underneath it. Intention for Atthew to head it back across goal. Couldn't meet it. And a dramatic contest concludes at Olympic Village, and Dandenong City have come to Melbourne's north, and they will head back to the southeast with a hard-fought point after Yaqub Mustafa's late equaliser cancelled out Bull-Droit's second of the game. Kenny Atthew had initially equalised after Droit's first. And in the end, Heidelberg United remain undefeated, but drop points against Nick Tolios' Hajduk.
Yeah, obviously, Dandenong City will feel they got what they deserved after the controversial awarding of Bull-Droit's second goal. But for these sides here tonight, only a few games left in the season. They both need wins to chase their objectives. For Dandenong City, it's to crack into the top six, which they've fallen just short of tonight. And whilst Heidelberg will await the result of Avondale versus Dandenong Thunder tomorrow, they will hold their spot atop the NPL Victoria ladder.
Indeed. The action coming fast across Victoria. NPL Men's Victoria, NPL Women's Victoria, all available live and free on the NPL Victoria YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe. Be a friend, tell a friend, get them subscribed as well. We got Doherty Cup and Nike FC Cup coming up to you live and free on the Football Victoria YouTube page. Make sure you subscribed to there as well for all the action. But from Olympic Village, my name's been Joey Lynch, joined by Lachlan Avil tonight as Dandenong City have twice come from behind and secured a 2-2 draw against Heidelberg United in this round 20 NPL Men's Victoria clash. Thanks and success.